Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We're playing in the Harbinger League, solo self-found, and we just made it to the Templar Laboratory. We're gonna run our very first map. It's Xana's Jungle Valley map of Miring. You get the Xana's map, but you don't get a suffix, so do keep in mind you can use an orb of augmentation to add a second modifier to it, which will increase the amount of quantity and rarity and pack size that you already got from the map. And because of Xana's modifier, all bonuses to quantity also apply to rarity, so it's going to be a win-win situation. If I'd had a Regal maps, that might even have been an interesting one to Regal, just because Xana's map, Xana's bonus really does allow you to stack things in interesting ways. So we're going to run this and see what it's all about. So, one small step. And Xana is here as she said she would.
Still sane. Look around you, Exile. This isn't Oriath, or even Rayclast. I don't even think it's our world. It's somewhere else entirely, and I need your help. There's something out here, in the maps, something that's shaping things. I can't quite describe it, but the very fabric of reality ripples with its presence. I know, it almost looks familiar, but the creatures here, they behave differently. More aggressive, more dangerous. And if we can travel into and out of here, it's only a matter of time until they do the same. I need to find the source of these harmful manifestations before they spill into Rayclast. And I need your help to do it. There's a powerful presence somewhere nearby. Kill it before it grows any stronger. Then meet me back at our world. We have much to discuss.
Okay. So that is a little bit of lore justification of why we are doing maps. So that is cool. So, of course, after we defeated Kitava, we did lose another 32 resists. So, as expected, we're now at only 11 chaos resists rather than 41. And the other resists are no longer as ridiculously overcapped as they once were, but they're still overcapped. So, we're just off to a good start here. Hey, stop trying to murder me, you silly fatted moss. Oh, and blue. That means Harbinger blue. First map tier Harbingers. Lovely. Well, we need to kill 100 of them, so they better just appear every single map. Or at least as many as we are lucky to find them. Ooh, so many things. Excellent. So Jungle Valley is basically one stretched out area. Just have to find which is the length direction. And it looks like we are gonna go from the bottom to the top left. I'm gonna do our best to just do as much of a full clear as possible. Just squeeze every little possible drop we can out of it. But looks like things are going pretty darn well here. I mean, this is a tier 1 map. It's a level 68 area. That's also, if you compare that with the feeding trough, was also 67. So the story now actually ends at 67 rather than at 70. So it truly is a build up to maps. Though, yeah, man, that Kitava fight was tricky. very damaging. Let's see, Strongbox, Firestorm, sure. Don't expect to get much out of it, so I don't really want to put much currency into it either. Ooh, another map. Crystal ore. That is lovely. So in terms of efficiency, this map that we got for free from Zana has already paid itself back by giving us another map. So given that Path of Exile has been gaining more and more people playing it and paying attention to it with every expansion, and the Fall of Oriath being the biggest expansion yet, might be that some folks watching along might not entirely be familiar with maps. So no, the first couple runs I'll just try to be a little bit more explicit about what maps are, what maps do. So note that I'm not assuming that everybody has been around for ages. And some folks are left wondering what the heck is up with that. Let's see. Okay, just teleport some minions to this side just to clear up the last pack. Oh, and we got a cursed. That was not entirely useful. Okay, so inventory is full. Let's empty our pockets. Okay, so you have a limited number of portals that you can take into the map. And once they're gone, you can no longer go back to the specific instance.
How are your maps?
Ah, lovely. So Zana does act as a vendor, so you can actually sell rubbish items to her. So that makes life a bit easier, though it is slightly annoying, maybe just intentionally so, that there's no stash here to actually stash things away. So let's have a quick look. Elemental all resist is the useful feature here. Mana is effectively virtual life, so that helps a bit as well. Effectively, no, think of it as 40 life. The other mods are kind of rubbish. If we add it all together, though, we have more resists on here than for the Le Huppevol. But we don't have the attributes and the damage increase, so there is that. So it's not actually that useful. This one, very tiny amount of life and a single resist, so not that great either. Oh wait, that's a bonus to cold damage, not to spells. So this is not useful for us either. This belt, just a ridiculously low life roll. Arcanist gloves, we can go for endgame tier now, so this is all just stuff to sell. If we just rearrange things a little bit, I think this is enough space to just continue going. Most of the time you'll use maybe 2 or 3 portals if you are not picking up quite a lot of items like I usually do. But at some point it's just gonna be, you'll pick up currency and you'll pick up maybe some of the more efficient items for sale. But you might give up on picking up most items afterwards. Ooh, tier 2 beach map. So maps have different tiers. They start at tier 1. Those are the level 68 level area. And each tier after that is 1 level higher. So the tier 2 we just found is going to be a level 69 area. And it just keeps going. Kill a number of monsters touched by tormented spirits. Yep, that works. Also, but prefer to kill the spirit, because I don't think there were any rares nearby. Okay, and I'm just starting to completely overload on the amount of items here. So a good point to maybe just pick up a little less items. Okay, but we've been pushing quite a bit and we did skip some areas, also some drops. As you notice, now we've been getting quite some map drops while simply just playing, killing regular mobs, things like that. And that is one of the one of the important things, of course, that maps will drop. They will drop more maps. Sometimes of higher tiers, often of lower tiers, and the higher tier map you are playing, the larger the chance, of course, that it will be a lower tier to drop, simply because there's going to be more tiers below it. As you complete maps and defeat the boss and meet certain requirements, you will unlock maps and gain bonuses from them that will actually increase the total of the chance of you getting a higher tier map than you normally would have gotten. So the average shifts up a little bit. So that's definitely something that helps you in that regard. Just quickly scanning here. Scales resistance on here, a little bit of life, for the rest no resists. So again, just all rubbish items.
Stay
Lovely.
inquisitive.
And yeah. Oh, another desert map. That's another tier 1. So tier 1 maps are the maps that can drop, I think, all the areas above level 60 or so. They can just start dropping, so they also drop outside of maps. Tier 2 and higher maps, they will only drop inside of maps. The one other place where you could obtain them is by buying them from Zana. She, as a vendor, sells maps, and every time you complete a mission for her, might include her daily mission, or it might even just only be the dailies, that will reset the maps she has for sale and allow you to buy a different set. And it's gonna be, depending on the level of Zana, the level of maps that she offers will slowly increase over time. Ooh, there's a trial here. That is very nice. So maps are effectively randomly generated versions of an area. So Jungle Valley is always going to have this tile set, and it's always going to have roughly this layout. There are no patterns to most of the maps, and it always will have the same boss. Those are the things that are tied to the map. It's always going to be the same level. But map is an item, and items can be enchanted in Path of Exile. So of course, that's why the Zana's prefix and the other affix was added to it. And all the things will increase the quantity and rarity of items. And if there's something that has a negative impact on you as a player, then the pack size, it will also increase. So that means there's going to be more monsters in each and every pack of monsters that spawns. Okay, this is just very convenient, everything at the same time. No, blue maps are relatively doable, because now they only have a couple of modifiers that make life more difficult. If you make them rare, then of course you get even more modifiers that will make your life more miserable. So on average those are going to be much more difficult, but also more rewarding. So it's a bit like a choose your own adventure. And you can also corrupt the maps, which potentially can upgrade them by a level. It can hide all the modifiers, so unless you remember what you did, you don't know what's happening. Or it can just completely reroll it into a corrupted map. But either way, it is yet another way to make the maps more rewarding. There's the chisels, cartographer's chisel. They apply quality to a map, just like the other quality items, like the armor scraps, would do it to other items. Follow the same rules and all of that. So in the maps there are the trials. It's going to be 6 trials, essentially. The trial of piercing truth being one of them. These are very much supercharged versions of the trials that you have played through in normal, cruel, and merciless, unlocking the labyrinths over there. Each of them will have usually 3 or 4 rooms with a rather elaborate puzzle, with monster areas in between that allow you to recharge your flasks. And at the end you click the portal, and a statue of the goddess will drop. Looks a little bit like this. You keep those in your stash. Once you complete all 6 different trials, you should have 6 plus of the statues. Then you can go back to the Aspirants Plaza, click Merciless, then make sure that you have one of the goddess statues with you and actually use that to gain entry. And then you can fight the endgame version of Izaro, which is going to be level 75 or something, maybe even higher. I must admit I didn't pay attention to that, but it's going to be difficult. It's the most dangerous version of the map. Given that the trial and the boss fight are so close to each other, let's do the boss fight first, and then the trial afterwards. So this is going to be a spider boss with lots of minions. Luckily, I have minions too. Okay, so far only minions. And that sounds like a boss. Queen of the Great Tangle. And she is dead. Cool. And she drops her mask card and another beach map. So the boss of a map has a chance of dropping a map that is up to 2 tiers higher than the current one. Though, if you have we don't have the access to the atlas just yet. We'll need to complete this map to do that. Assassin's Carp, then we can just go out again. Have a chat, empty your pockets, and then go into the lab. Yeah, she's not gonna close the map on us.
There's something I need to show you. I have spent some time out exploring the maps, and despite their apparent randomness, there are threads that connect them. Threads we should follow. Whatever you did out there has rippled inwards, making the connections clearer. The more we understand these connections, the more each of these maps can offer us, and the closer we'll be to finding out what is twisting them. This is the Atlas of Worlds, and we can use it to track these connections. We can use it to chart a path.
Okay, so the Jungle Valley map we just played is all the way in the corner here. We got Crystal Ore Tier 1, we got Desert Tier 1, and we have Arcade Tier 1 in the very corners. In the middle is the Shaper, I think it's Tier 17. You got the 4 Guardians around it, which are Tier 16. And then you have all kinds of paths leading inwards that just tangle, mix, split, and so forth. So the journey is going to be from Tier 1 to Tier 17 via many different crossing roads. And each of the maps in sequence you have to at least play through. And whenever you play a map, any map that you have unlocked so far has an opportunity of dropping. Tier 1 maps are effectively unlocked by default. The maps that are adjacent to the current one also have an opportunity of dropping. So if you want to have a beach map and we haven't unlocked it yet, then playing a map that is adjacent to it allows it to drop. So that's why we got beach map drops here on the Jungle Valley. If we would be playing Arcade, then the Ghetto map had a chance of dropping. And so we can just continue along the path. If you defeat a map and kill the boss on a magic version of the map, or better, yellow also works, then you get the bonus. And the bonus objective is what I said, it gives you an extra chance of upgrading the map to a tier higher. The first 5 tiers of the maps are white maps. After that you get yellow maps for another 5 or so tiers. And then the final 5 tiers are going to be red maps. White, yellow, red is the way they are just classified. But it's also the white maps you need to kill a magic monster. On yellow maps you need to kill the monster at least as a rare. And on the red maps you also need to corrupt the rare map with a Vile Orb in order to unlock the bonus. So the further you get, the more you are effectively forced to make the map more difficult if you want to get that bonus. Simply killing the boss, even if the map is completely just white and not enchanted at all, will unlock it, so it starts dropping according to the map drop rules. But if you want to have the bonus, then you do have to make your life more difficult. Okay, so
I've picked up on a series of extremely strange disturbances out there. I've never seen anything like this before. We need to find out what's going on, but I'm struggling to pinpoint the source. It's as if someone or something is intentionally obscuring these events. When you can, I need you to venture out and see what you can find. Keep an eye out for anything unusual. Obviously, everything out there is unusual to some extent, but the kinds of disturbances I'm talking about will be impossible to miss. I understand you've created a little hideout for yourself. If you have the room, cohabitation could allow us to strengthen our alliance. What do you think?
that sounds good, though I need to kick someone out before we can allow her in. But we were here to empty our pockets before we move forward. This is not the kind of armor we would choose. +1 to minions, that is a good start. Unfortunately, we already have one with minions that also has resist and life, so this is a downgrade. Good cookie for effort, of course. Arcanist gloves with a fair amount of energy shield. But only a single resist and no chaos resist, so I think we'll just leave these for Zana. And do all of that. Okay. You know what? We'll just get rid of this shield as well. We're getting loaded up with stuff already.
Stay sane, Exile.
So we now have 3 more portals, and the trials here, of course, they follow the same rules as the lab. Once you go in, you can't portal out until you get to the end. So they can get quite dangerous. Also, this is a new instance that is 1 level higher than a containing map, so it's going to be a 69 area rather than a 68 area that the map itself was. Okay, some of these totem things, not entirely sure if they are... Yep, aha, see. Good, we shot one of the totem things. And we kind of got skewered here. So more or less central to these trials here are these totems that cast curses. Green, just no temporal change, slows you down. Or no, purple slows you down. Green makes you take damage if you use movement skills. So it's always lovely as well. And I got skewered nonetheless. Okay. So this is basically 1 large room with traps. So now we get a room with minions to replenish our flask charges. And having some flask, at least one that gives you some movement speed, is useful. Oh, Uber circlet. Okay, another temple change. That's alright. Okay, lots of cranks here. Locked door. Ow, ow, ow. Yes. This is the permanent lever that opens up one of the doors outside. And I need to go back here. Ow. That one is still locked because there is one thing I overlooked, and that is these levers over here. Right, the other one out there was tied to it as well, of course. Yeah. Come on. Insta heal flasks for the win. Yes. Excellent. Well, you can basically brute force a lot of these traps like these, but well, your flasks will run low over time. So there's a limit to how often you can repeat that trick. Also, I did lose one of my specters and most of my zombies. That is one of the unfortunate side effects of doing these trap-laden areas. Which is rather unfortunate, because I really did like my specters. Okay. Lever. Basically just walk through this. Yeah, okay. Ow. We're waiting on top of one. I thought the traps didn't start until the next bit. Just overlooking where the traps start. It's a good way to get yourself skewered. Yeah, like that. Okay, that opens up that door. Okay, no more penalty for using movement skills. Rather awesome. Okay, speed run. Ow. That one causes bleeding. Come on. Okay, summon up the minions. And there is the final room. Minion rooms often have an endless pain totem in there. Just makes you take more damage. It is nice, however, that the final room does give you a lot of minions to face. So you have an opportunity to regain some of your flask charges. So you are once again prepared to deal with the map outside. Let's raise one of those things as our spectre.
Belief is the strongest metal of them all.
So that was the offering to the goddess, and this is 1 out of 6 trials now completed. So now that we are out here, we have done everything this map has to offer us. And effectively we could insert another map to run it again. But I'm gonna call this an end to the episode. So basically in one map we saw most of the different things that there are to see about a map. Now their items, they can be enchanted, they have a boss at the end, and they can have trials appear in them, and they can also have your masters appear in them as well. Zana, if she appears in the map, she will actually open up a set of portals into another map that's effectively nested inside of your map. So you can do there. Zana, the missions she gives you as a master, they can sometimes be a little bit on the suicidal part, since she often gives them with a timer and really forces you to run through and take a lot of risks in order to actually make it under the timer. Or if you have a very fast clear speed build, then you'll be able to keep up, but most of the time there could be some risk involved. But that's gonna be it. So for now I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again next time when we play another map that might be slightly less adventurous, because we really did get everything there was about a map. Bye bye.